blog.stampwithelane.com and welcome to the fourth in my 2015 Countdown to Christmas series. 12 projects and ideas scheduled to finish in the first week of December and hopefully give you a more relaxed and stress-free festive season. Today's project is a double-ended treat box. So there's a sweet up there, and if you flip it over there's a hidden compartment here, and there's another sweet in there. We will need some Cherry Cobbler cardstock, Whisper White, Garden Green. We'll also need a 1 inch and 1.5 inch circle punch. We will also need the Festive Flower Builder punch. This coordinates with the Reason for the Season stamp set. It can be bought as a bundle, but equally you can also buy it separately. If you buy it as a bundle, then of course you save 15%. We'll also need our scoreboard and our trimmer and some DSP. This is the Merry Moments DSP stack. It measures 6 by 6 in centimetres, that's 15.25 by 15.25 centimetres, and there are 48 sheets in a stack with 2 double-sided designs. First we need to bring in our scoreboard, and with the long side on top we score at 1/2 inch, 2.5 inches, 7.5 inches and at 9.5 inches. In metric that would be 1.3, 6.4, 19.1 and 24.2 centimetres. Rotate your cardstock so that the short side is on the top and score at 1/4 inch, 2.25 inches, 4.25 inches and 6.25 inches. Now, I've done a diagram here so you can see it a little bit easier. So this is the 1/4 inch mark. So we are going to cut down to this score line. So a tiny little rectangle here. And the other rectangle down here. So we will leave this central panel alone. This is the long rectangles, and what we want to do is just snip up to this second score line with the narrow 1/2 inch score line at the bottom. We want to snip on each of these panels. With your 1/4 inch margin on the left, you want to cut away this square, and you want to cut away this panel here. On the other side of this is going to be the lid of your box. So you need to cut this rectangle away. Flip the cardstock round so the long side's facing you and the narrow margin is at the top. So you want to cut away this panel here, the small rectangles at the top here. Don't want to snip the one on the first one here next to the narrow 1/4 inch margin, because that's going to be your lid. So there's the narrow margin on the left. You need to snip away this bit here. So we'll take that one off. then your box should look like this. So you just want to snip a little bit here, cutting a V shape. You don't want to cut too much because then the box might not close properly. Burnish our lines. Bring our scoreboard back, and now with the 1/4 inch margin on the left, we want to score a diagonal line from the bottom left hand corner up to the top right hand corner. So it makes it easier to do this when you've cut your flaps. I've drawn a white with a chalk marker at the 6 inch mark, a line right down my scoreboard, so it makes it easy for me to do scoring like this. Take your corner rounder punch and round off the corners for your lid. Burnish the diagonal lines. Use the tear and tape adhesive on this flap here. Fold it over. I've cut 2 pieces of DSP from the Merry Moments DSP stack at 1 3/4 inches by 4 3/4 inches, which is 4.5 centimeters by 12.1 centimeters. So now we need our trimmer. The top right down to the bottom left. It's the same direction you were scoring in as well. Next, you want to twist your box, so grab hold of it where the diagonal lines are and fold it so it's crossways like this, and then you just pinch. It will pop, form this shape as in here. So there's your twist, and then you need to put that in, and if that's too wide, this is when you can adjust your, so obviously that's too wide, so I'm just going to snip a little bit off and maybe angle that a little bit more. Now, you know, poinsettias usually come in red, but I thought it would be nice just to do something a little different, and you can see the various variety of poinsettias you can get. So I made one with this colour. I took my So Saffron ink pad and a sponge and sponged strips of Whisper White cardstock. It doesn't matter if it's not very even because you're going to punch them out anyway. And it's easier if you punch it from right to left because then you're not wasting very much paper. And once I've punched out all of my petals, I only use the smaller of the petals, not the large one. There are 2 ends to it of the petal. There's a blunt end and there's a very sharp pointy end. So with that at the top, then you use this middle size stamp with the leaves and then stamp it onto your leaf. That way there's less wastage of paper. Do the same for the garden green for the leaves. So I need 3 of those. With the same stamp, garden green ink. Stamp with the pointy end at the top. That's from your Reason for the Season stamp set. I just do it by eye and by hand. It really doesn't matter if you know, the creases aren't quite where you want it, because I just think that adds to the look. It makes it more natural. Separate it into your groups, your double petal, your leaves and your flower petals. Gold glimmer. I won't need to punch 2 1-inch circles and 1 1.5-inch circles for your bases to adhere your petals to the 2 1-inch circles. So just pop a dimensional on the back, stagger them so they're in between, and then these petals will actually cover up the green underneath. So a glue dot on the back of that, across there, and another glue dot on the back of that, across there. Then you bring your larger circle and attach that, a dimensional to that. Then you want to position your leaves on the edge of the larger circle and see where you want your leaves to be. I think probably 1 there. Two little crosses that were punched, more glue dots. Because the box isn't very big, it would just look silly if your flower was too big. So last of all, I've put some glue dots on the bottom of poinsettia base, and then we'll just attach some dimensionals to the bottom, and we're ready to put it on the top of our box. So let's take that off, place that on top of our box. Last thing to do is to pop the sweeties in. We can't have a box without sweets. So here's a milk chocolate one in the top, just right for these lovely Lindt chocolates, and then a white chocolate one in the bottom. So I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial, and pop back for more inspiration next week for the 5th in my series of Countdown to Christmas. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon. Bye!